I remember the beginning of the process a lot clearer than I remember the end. Um, I remember the audition process at BCTV in Burnaby, and it spanned over a few days, and then the part that I specifically remember was the final callback session, which was, um, I guess, more of a test of memorization than anything else, or that's what it felt like to me. We got a script the night before and had to memorize it, come in and basically do the whole thing. Um, and Matt, not unlike myself, is very verbose, so he had tons of lines. And I remember calling my buddy up that night because my parents were away, so I had no one to run lines with. So I called him up. He was gracious enough to come over and run these lines with me. I don't think I slept that night. I was so nervous about forgetting the lines, which I think I did repeatedly. And the AD, what was his name?
Was it Garth Lewis?
Yeah, Garth was reading opposite
The other
us,
side, yeah.
and we were sitting much like this in front of a camera and one person here, and basically top to bottom of the script. And I think I messed up every single scene, but he messed up one line, I remember, and I was like, oh, I can't work with this. And I think that was the clincher, as the story goes. That was the attitude. At least it got me out of the memorization part of it.
That's good.
But that was a tough part of this show. I mean, we shot it so fast that that we had to remember a lot of lines in a short period of time, which was not. I think I developed some very bad habits that had to be beaten out of me later on. Some very crafty ways of pausing and thinking and looking around, and I'm sure it didn't translate to great acting, but it it managed
Got you
to.
through the script.
Yeah, I got you through the script.
Those one a day.
Oh,
That's what we
unbelievable.
shot.
Yeah,
One episode a day, 30 pages,
yeah,
and you were in every episode essentially.
yeah, and a lot of lines too. I remember we'd get a line count at the beginning, and somewhere near 100, somewhere between 100 and 140 lines a show, which in your mid-teens was. I guess your brain's supposed to be better at that point.
You remember the line count? Good for you. I couldn't.
I think I was so intimidated by
Yeah.
the number of lines, but I'm no better now. I still hate the memorization process. I could blame it on the show, maybe. I mean, maybe it tainted me. I don't know.
Well, what I was going to ask you as a lead question is what you're doing now,
Mhm.
and now can be now and any time, any part of that span of the last 20 years, 18 years since you finished shooting 15. However you want to go there.
Well, I think the thing that I was thinking about today and about 15 is that it was very influential on the trajectory of my life. Really, I was thinking about it in terms of career. Obviously, it had an impact on kind of where the experiences that I had and where things led from there. But really, it shaped, or it started me off on a path that has influenced the rest of my life, including Rebecca, who I married, who I met acting. So it really covered a lot of things. Since the end of the show, I guess one of the things that I realized while I was doing it, maybe trying to fake my way through it, was that my instinct was that I wanted to learn more about acting and the whole craft of it. And so for me, it was really important to go to school after that. So, and I chose to go to theater school as opposed to, I don't know, some film and television school or something like that. And from there, I was going to say waylaid into theater. But I began my affair with live theater, including musicals and straight plays. And I've spent, I would say, 80 to 90% of my career after 15 on stage, which, is not as financially rewarding. But for me, there was a long period of time where I felt like I should be pursuing film and television more aggressively. Um, Probably due to the image part of it, and the success being related to where how to translate kind of out of that show and onto something else. Um, but over the I guess over the last I can't believe it's 20 years, but um, I would say in the last 5 years I've really come to terms with what I really enjoy doing. And not that I don't enjoy doing film and television, the process and the game of film and TV is the part that I didn't enjoy as much.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the actual work of it, and would probably be interested in doing more down the road. But I enjoy the process of theater more, and so I always felt myself drawn to that more and more. Anyway, so that's kind of what I've been doing in terms of career, um, and I continue to perform on stage, and then personally through that process met Rebecca. We did West Side Story together, and eventually got married after dating for 4 or 5 years, something like that. And we just had our first child, so that's exciting. So a little 6-month-old girl.
Bravo.
Thank you. Yeah, it's again puts everything else in perspective. And